Well,
Hey toy fans, Aaron here. I finally picked up the Hoth Leia wave of Force Link 2.0 figures, so keeping with that Solo theme, I thought we'd take a look at Moloch from Solo, Star Wars movie. So let's head to that table and check this one out. And checking out the card, Moloch does come on the Solo line, so that gets you the golden color, the Star Wars logo up top. Very nice artwork off to the side of Moloch, and then of course through the blister you do see the included figure along with his staff and that little small pistol. Flipping onto the backside, basically the top half is just your Force Link 2.0 advertisement with a kid's hand wearing the bracelet showing you that this figure is compatible, and then to the right of that you got the Han Solo starter set being advertised there. Bottom half of the card, just a bunch of legal information. And now taking a look at the figure out of the packaging, I think Hasbro has done a wonderful job with this figure. Overall, it's very representative of what was seen in the movie. Going in on that head area, he's got this armored cowl that wraps around the top and back of his head. Looks like they nailed the sculpting of this to me and the painting to it. And on the front of the figure, of course, he's got this mask that covers his face. Again, here, the sculpting to me looks spot on. As far as this gray and yellowish part, that painting looks pretty accurate to me. And then you got this silver piece right in front of the mask with those tubes running kind of down the sides. I mean, fabulous sculpting to it. It looks exactly like it should, although just unfortunately no special paint applications to it. Oddly, that for what they gave you for painting, they just kind of stopped and made this, you know, just one gray piece or silver piece of plastic. Definitely should be some of that yellowish cream color painting in the front of it and even off to the side a little bit. I kind of don't care though. I mean, obviously it's just a 3 3/4 inch toy and paint detailing is generally pretty limited, but I think the sculpting to this is just looking great. And this figure does have a little hidden feature to it, and that is this face mask. The silver grayish part here does slide out. And then now in the movie, what actually happened was, you know, this part here, this gray and yellow part kind of slid back. But, you know, obviously in this case, this just pops out, leaving the front of this mask out like we saw it. And then underneath that reveals a great head sculpt and paint job to the figure. You got a little bit of added paint detailing in there with a peach color painting for the skin with a little bit of like creamy white thrown in there. And then on top of the head and along the sides of the face, you see what is actually the remnants of that mask that we just removed. As that scoots back, that's what you're seeing there, is the edges of that mask sculpted in there. It's a nice little added touch of detailing to that. And then when you get the urge, you can just slide that right back onto his face and then push this in and it slides back no problem. As for the rest of the figure, first up, he's got this big trench coat on. I love the texturing and detailing that they sculpted into the plastic of this. Definitely looks thick and heavy. Very nice blue color to it. Obviously, lots of little subtle wrinkles and stuff sculpted in there. And then along the front edge of the coat, you got a little bit of gold painted there. Now, for the inside of this coat, I do think it is supposed to all be gold color. But in this case, they just did the little stripe right along the edge. It doesn't bug me so much. The trench coat is not removable. So in the way it lays, you know, you're not really seeing inside it that much. So it doesn't bug me all that much. It's not like I like the figure any less because of that. And for the hands of the figure, he was, of course, wearing gloves. And that's what we have here. And the sculpting does seem pretty representative of what was seen in the movie here also. And through the chest area of the figure, you got a couple brown belts sculpted in there. Bandoliers, holsters, whatever. All of the above, really. Sculpting is looking pretty good there. No special paint application, though. Which is pretty consistent, as I've mentioned already, for a 5-point figure. Nothing overly grand with the paint job. And as far as the rest of the figure underneath, you just see more blue robes sculpted in there. Nice little wrinkles and folds to that also. Fits in well with the way the rest of the figure looks. And then just to show this off a little bit better, he doesn't actually have feet, even though you'd think so by the way he stands and runs around. But he's got like these little tentacles, and they have that sculpted in there also. You know, you kind of see it a smidge when it's sitting on the table, but you get a little better look here. Since nothing opens up, you can't really get a look underneath, but it's just a solid piece of plastic, and then probably your Force Link right underneath this part. As far as the articulation of the figure, you're not going to get your traditional side to side like you're thinking. It doesn't turn, but actually what you do get is some rotation in there. And actually you can rotate all the way around, and you know, even if you have that mask off, you can still turn the head of that figure without it on. So that's what you're getting for head articulation. At the shoulder area, of course, both arms do spin all the way around, and then at the wrist area, Both hands do spin around where that plugs in there at the end of the sleeve. And that's all you're going to get for the articulation. As far as the accessories go, he does have two of them. He's got his staff and his blaster. As far as that blaster goes, it is just this short little thing. No special paint applications to it, but for such a small, scaled weapon here, they got a fair amount of sculpting into it to make it look pretty identifiable to what he was using in the movie. Things are looking the same on both sides of the weapon, and of course you can put it in his hand just fine, or if you choose, you can slide it in his holster. And the second accessory comes with his staff. It seems fairly representative of how it should look. Aside from the color, I think it should be all, black down the staff of it and white up here at the top end and not this copper color. Otherwise, though, as far as the sculpt, I do think they nailed it. Things are looking pretty good here at the top end. And then you just get a little bit down here in the middle of the staff and a little detailing down at the end. And of course, you can slide this in either hand. He's got no problem holding it. Now, even though his hands do have some of that articulation, it just doesn't work out right to put him in a double-fisted pose with this staff. You could force it in, but you'll probably end up bowing your staff, just so you know. But otherwise, he's pretty much just going to hold that one-handed. And as far as the force link sounds, and then of course sliding them forward gets you your battle sounds. And so those are the sounds. And is that what he sounded like? Why don't I remember it that way? But anyways, that's what we have. Well, paying no attention to the force link sounds, I still think this is a great looking figure. I think they've done a wonderful job with the sculpting of it. Plus having that little mask be removable and stuff and showing you the face underneath. I think that was an added touch that, for their basic 5-point figure, Hasbro certainly didn't need to go there with that. And I'm glad they did. And so that wraps up this look at Moloch. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this figure in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.